Hi guys, welcome to Data Science A to Z episode 2. So in the first episode we have seen something very interestingly, whether the Samsung's trust has been changed or not. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it in the link in the description. You can go and watch the first episode to understand what is there in that video. And today what we are going to talk about is when we use the word data science, you can't simply ignore social media. Yeah, why? Because there are 2.7 billion people are out there working and doing something activities, posting the feelings, posting the posts. So you can't simply ignore it. There are too much of people over there, so we can do some analytics about that. So what's happening currently in the world of social media analytics, and what comes after that? So there are a lot of interesting things. Today we are going to learn about social media analytics, and let's dive in. Yeah, let's start our next episode on data science A to Z. Yeah, Aritra.
Yeah, thanks, Adu. Thanks for the welcome. And hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are logged in from. This is Aritra Banerjee, and let's take a deep dive into Data Science A to Z episode 2. Now, to begin this episode, let me talk about a story about something which happened to me a couple of years back. Now, I was traveling from Mumbai to Chennai, and once I reached Chennai, as everybody else is so fond of doing nowadays, I checked into Facebook. I wrote that finally I'm here in Chennai, and I checked in Facebook, and then after doing that, I went about doing my current business as usual. After 2 to 3 hours, I opened my Facebook app on my phone again, and you know what I found? I found that Facebook was actually suggesting me to go to a couple of must-see places in Chennai. Apart from that, I also got a couple of advertisements from few of the uh, well-renowned restaurants in Chennai, and I was completely shocked. And I said, how on earth does these companies, these restaurants know that I'm in Chennai currently, that they are sending me advertisements? So, like, what do you guys think? How did Facebook and how did these companies know that I was in Chennai on that day? I'll just give you a second to think about it. Okay, so this is what happened. I've told you that I had checked into Facebook earlier that day, and I told that I was in Chennai. Now, Facebook, what it does is it collects all the data regarding whatever you have been doing on the Facebook platform, and it does some analytics, does some processing of the data, and makes recommendations to you saying that okay, since you are in Chennai right now, here are a couple of must visit places that you must see. Group in Facebook, here is a similar group of which you can be a part of. So that's how Facebook works. Now, what about the restaurants that were sending me the advertisements? What about them? How did they know that I was in Chennai? What Facebook does is Facebook also sells the data to third party organizations, and they in turn analyze this data, and they target specific people for marketing campaigns. So let me talk to you about some numbers. The total population on Earth, any idea? It's close to 7.5 billion. Out of that, 2.8 billion people are active on social media. 2.8 billion. Can you just imagine what 2.8 billion people, how much data they generate on social media platforms? And think of it as an organization. You have the data of 2.8 billion people across the world. That is simply a gold mine of information. You can do absolutely anything you want with that data if you have access to it and if you know how to process it. Now, let's move on. Let's take a step back and let's focus on what we did in the last episode. In the last episode, we were actually analyzing the sentiments of customers towards Samsung after the debacle of Note 7, and we were analyzing the sentiments of customers towards Samsung after Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus was launched. Where did we get the data from? You're right, we got it from Twitter. Twitter is a social media platform. Now imagine that if that amount of data, was a very small cross section of data that we analyzed, and if that amount of data can give us so many insights, so very valuable insights, can you imagine what the data of 2.8 billion people can tell you, right? Now, what is the need of social media analytics? Why is it so important? Why am I stressing on the fact that there is so much data out there, so much untapped data out there, which people can leverage? Now, what can we do with that data? A very important thing that we can do is we can segment our target audience. Now, we have data of, say, 1 billion people. Now we can classify and categorize these 1 billion people into clusters, and then we can identify which particular cluster is important to me. Which particular segment of customers can I target from my product? Say, I am building a very high-end phone, and I will target only those people who currently own high-end phones or who currently are rich and can afford my phone. So therein, I will be able to cluster and categorize and classify my customers and then target only those particular people. So I will save a lot of money on my marketing activities if I can do this uh, very clearly and organized in an organized way. So that is one portion that is called audience segmentation. We can also infer behaviors and sentiments of customers, just like we did for Samsung. We can understand how customers are currently feeling about a particular product. What are the things they are talking most about that company or that product? What are their likes? What are their dislikes in regards to that product and everything? So we can very well see the mentality and the behavior of the customers currently. Next, we can mine very important and currently relevant topics in the world. And what are the what is the attitude of the people towards that topic? So all these things we can do, we can extract all these kinds of information we can extract from social media platforms. Now, what is social media analytics? Till now, whatever I have explained to you, you must have a very precise and concise idea about what social media analytics is. But still, I'll just walk you through the processes that are used in social media analytics. Firstly, we gather data from all the social media platforms. We have a number of social media platforms currently. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, Instagram, we have Google Plus, LinkedIn, we have Pinterest, and whatnot. Now, as I told you, there are currently 2.8 billion people across the world using social media. Do you need the data of all these people? No. You need to understand what is important to you and what kind of data you don't need. So you filter out that data. After filtering out, you analyze the data and you draw insights on that data. Good. Now, social media analytics in itself is it's not a standalone thing. It is actually a part of a bigger pool of analytics, and that is called text analytics. Now, what is text analytics? Text analytics is nothing but analyzing data in textual form. So whatever data you have which is unstructured and which is in text form, and if you're trying to analyze it, that falls under the broader category of text analytics. Text analytics can take data from a number of sources. It can take data from blogs, it can take data from news feeds, from e-commerce websites, from social media, or from text files such as .txt files, .pdf files, .doc files, and whatnot. And what do we do with that data? So there are a few steps in text analytics. First step is collecting the data. Now you need to identify which is your most viable source. Whether you want to go for social media, or you want to go for newsfeed, or you want to go for data that you have at hand in the form of text files. So once you identify your data source, you collect the data from that. Then once you have the data, you need to extract meaningful information out of it. So that brings us to the next step, the information extraction part. So we can extract a number of informations from that textual data. I've mentioned couple of them here. We can do a lexical analysis. Now, what is lexical analysis? You must have, if you have watched the previous episode, you must remember that we actually built word clouds on for the Note 7 and Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. Now, word clouds comprise of words which are occurring the most number of times in the text. That falls under lexical analysis. Then we can do pattern recognition as well. We can identify which portion of text is occurring where and in how many times. So that in that way we can actually form a pattern between our textual data. Now, once we have done all these kinds of analysis, we need to identify who our target audience for the analysis is. Now, if your target audience is, say, a client manager, he will definitely not be knowing which algorithm you used in your analysis, how you extracted the information. For him, it will be like something of a rocket science or something like Greek and Hebrew, right? So we can't present the data to him in that form. So what we do is we present the data in a more understandable form. That's where the data visualization comes in. We draw graphs, charts, pie charts, and whatnot, just to make sense of our data so that anybody who just takes a look at our analysis can understand what's happening here, right? Last but not the least, we can also do predictive analytics. So whatever analysis we have done so far, say we have analyzed 5 to 10 years worth of data, now we can use that to predict something of the future, something that might happen, or we can do that, use that to classify our text, any new kind of text coming in. We can tell that without even processing that text. We can tell, okay, what category that text falls into. Is it a story, or is it a blog? Is it a news feed? Is it a 10K 10Q filing? Whatever it is, we can simply by running that text portion of text into our algorithm, we can identify which category it falls into, right? So this is a power of text analytics, and there is a vast plethora of things that we can do by using text analytics, and we can draw very meaningful insights from it, right? So for that, you need to tune into our next episode, wherein we will be taking a deep dive into the steps of performing a text analytics project, right? So for that, tune into our next episode, and till then, have a nice day.
Yeah, so I hope this session is so interesting and useful. And if you take the word data science and the word analytics, it looks so wonderful and it looks so catchy. So that's what's happening. But it's very really interesting. It's life changing and the industry is disrupted. When I say disrupted, it's really disrupting all the industries. You take anything, whatever you're working on, whatever you're looking, whatever you're doing, it affects everything. Ola, Uber, and whatnot. Like you can say, everything is being hit by this wave because analytics is what everyone wants, and social media is one of the very important thing which is playing a vital role. And that's what we learn. It's just introduction, and there are lots of things is coming on the way in our data science A to Z. In the episode 3, we'll catch you in the next Saturday around 8 p.m. Each Saturday, we'll be seeing you through these episodes. So, hope you enjoy the video. If you have any comments, just post it in the comments, and we have our contact details in the description as well. So, see you then. Bye bye.